Akademiks can't ride no wave.
It started, well, first of all, it started like a while ago when people were saying, damn, Boosie, we need you to react to the Gucci thing. We need you to react to this or react to that. And Boosie came out and he said, you know what? I'm going to do my own interview. Recently, he says, y'all know what time it is. Real talk. Let's go. He said, this is not a Vladtv interview. Here we go.
I don't know what time it is. Let's talk about it. Uh-oh. Yeah, I get ready. It's been 7 months. Let's go. I ain't do Vlad no more. We couldn't come up with a agreement. He ain't want to pay me. I wanted $5,000 more than he wanted to pay me. He ain't want to pay me, so I think I'm gonna make more money doing it this way. And I'm editing my interview now. I ain't do Vlad no more.
Okay. Interesting. I've kind of known about this a little bit, so I got a little bit inside knowledge, but that's neither here nor there for me to speak about. I'm only commenting on this because Boosie has decided to speak about this publicly, so I could react to what he's saying rather than, I've talked to Vlad. Vlad has kind of talked to me and given me some version of what's going on. It seems like this is just a contractual dispute between them. And I think what we could extrapolate from this whole situation is some good old business talk. So everybody put your hats on, your thinking hats, but also let's get into the school of business with the Academy, okay? Professor Ack is here. So what essentially is happening here is that Vlad created this market where interviewees are getting compensated, and some very lucratively. And what's happening is that the raw facts is this, okay? Let me break down everybody's platform. When it comes to Big Act's platform, me, I'm a triple doubles, no assist type of nigga. I don't need somebody on my left. I don't need somebody on my right. I'm going to get it done. If it's breaking down an indictment, whether it's, reporting on some news, giving some business insider info, whatever, like I'm going to be able to do whatever. It's been my style on YouTube for years. I have collaborated. I've done stuff with other people. I generally like that too, but a lot of times it becomes complicated when you got to wait on other people or their business now becomes your business, i.e. everyday struggle. Y'all both got to align on business before you could even get to the content. It's a lot of hoops. I like doing content by myself, honestly. So I'm a guy, I don't mind doing the heavy lifting. Some other people, they need to be prompted. Why do I say that? Because in reality, this idea that I don't think people are understanding is that Vlad created this environment of paying people for interviews, but people also are overestimating their worth, right? Now, we're not going to get into a Marlon Wayans thing where everyone has these made up net worths, or not net worths, but like, this is what my time or my interview is worth. I want to give some straight up facts. And these facts are going to hurt a lot of people, but it's facts. Boosie, Charleston White, other people who I genuinely love, adore, and I love their conversations, love their content. Most of them are too late to the party. While, let me talk about on just what Boosie said. He said, this guy wouldn't give me a $5,000 raise. Now, we don't know, well, I know, but you don't know what he's getting paid already. But when people think about $5,000, like, damn, you wouldn't get that nigga a little extra $5,000 and he's whatever. Let me break it down. For all of these people who like doing these interviews or whatever, your value to said company has already evaporated after you've repeated going on that platform probably more than 4 times. Why? 2 particular reasons. Number one, you've helped build the platform. The platform only gets bigger. It's like when we went to Complex, at the end of the day, we helped build Complex. Complex then did a deal, hundreds of millions of dollars. They're not coming back and say, hey, Ak and Joe, thank you for getting us to get rid of print. We fired 150 people. You guys got us to go in this new model. We now only do video. We then did a deal with so-and-so with BuzzFeed, and now we think we owe you a couple million. No, they don't say that. They say, kick rocks, nigga. Thank you for your service. What we gave you is what you deserved. That's it. So the number one thing here is you can't be the person that comes back much later not realizing that you already gave up your leverage in your worth already. I'll tell you what Boosie's leverage is. Boosie helped make Vladtv cool. When everybody was saying it's the feds, it's that, is whatever, Boosie was the street nigga who never switched. He ain't fall back like Lord Jamar and a few of these people. He stayed down. I don't give a fuck. Vlad, my partner. Boosie attracted more folks to kind of say, you know, I'm going to go do that. That probably has a price tag on it. Here's the thing. If you didn't charge it back then, it's too late. Okay? You don't get signed to an NBA team when you're 23, and for you dropping 30 a game, you expect to get paid when you're 34 for, yo, remember when I was 23 dropping? No. You're in a business of what are you doing for me lately? So here's the point. Boosie, who was one of, I remember every 4 or 5 interviews, we'd see a Boosie clip. These days, Vlad has about 20 repeating guests. Back when Boosie was really, he was the workhorse. Now, I'm not saying that to, whatever, but he was, when you thought about Vlad's channel, you were like, oh, Boosie. Back then, by the way, this is the same thing with Drake and streaming, except Drake is still Drake. Drake is still Drake. Boosie was pretty much the Kobe of the platform, and now the platform got mad at other options. They're not going to compensate you with back pay for like what you've done. You should have negotiated back then. They're going to compensate you for how you fit into this market, which usually a lot of people don't like. They're like, bro, I helped build this shit. Those arguments always exist. You put in the work, you help make it cool, you put them on, and then when other people start fucking with them, they treat you like you one of the rest when you took the first chance. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure if Boosie's now arguing about 5,000, I guarantee Boosie, when nobody was fucking with Vlad, Boosie said, yo, Vlad, how about this? Don't pay me for no interviews, but I'll do 2-3 interviews a month, but whatever your channel make, I want 10%. Now, granted, I don't know if Vlad would do that. But back then, there was a time that Boosie was needed, really. What am I saying? There's too many fucking, everybody's a talking head. And what created that was Vlad start paying people, but then all these niggas start advertising, hey, yo, we're getting 10,000, 15,000, 5,000 per interview. And what that did was it brought a lot more people to the person that you were the first person to fuck with. Now you got people that will get decent views, maybe not your views. They paying you 20. That person want 3. At some point, it becomes business. The second thing, when it comes to this whole Boosie and when it comes to Boosie and Vlad, I don't think Boosie and a lot of these people who are on the interview circuit realize that usually past your third or fourth interview, you're a declining stock for Vlad. I'm going to explain in a second. You're a declining stock for Vlad. By the way, I like to use my friends more than people I don't know that well. 6ix9ine. Biggest interview is his first. Second biggest is second. After that, he's going to decline to a level where he could possibly, level out at. Why do I say that? When Vlad does his first interview with you, Vlad gets your life story. He's really good at that. The best at doing that in the game. Best. He gets it from A to Z, 0 to 100. Maybe on the second interview, you need to I found this out or whatever. Oh, let's see how your story matches with this other story. Let's kind of combine it. But about after your third or fourth interview, you're no longer telling Vlad about your life. Maybe if something come out in the news, but that's not really worth that much anymore. So your life story he basically got a free documentary off of you, right? He got your autobiography, right? You told him everything about your life. You told him everything about your story. Now, you've now turned into a glorified commenter per topic. Nothing wrong with it. I do it too. But you're just a cog on a chessboard or a cog in a wheel where let's hear what T.K. Kirkland thinks. Let's hear what Aries Spears thinks. Let's hear what D.L. Hughley thinks. Let's hear. There's nothing more proprietary. Yes, maybe certain special topics okay, somebody snitched. It's time to hear from Boosie. Okay. But the price tag for Boosie isn't worth that much anymore unless somebody's snitching. And that there is the problem. Because at that point, Vlad is the hot bitch with all the options. You ain't the only show in town no more. And where you fucked up if you wanted to be competitive and ask for raises rather than just take what he gives you, once you get past the actual interview part, I hate people saying they're paying for interview. You're not getting paid for interviews no more. You're getting paid for commentary. You're doing what I do, except Vlad is just prompting you with the topics. You could have did it on your own, except you don't know how to make content. Vlad got a bunch of niggas that don't know how to fish, served them up some salmon, all cooked up, seasoned up, or whatever, and after made the portions smaller and smaller till the person said, nah, yo, I want more fish, and he says, yo, take it or leave it. Now these niggas trying to learn to fish. Boosie put himself in a negotiation disadvantage. Boosie don't even know what the market is for he only knows what Vlad gives him or what he thinks. You know why? Boosie don't do interviews for nobody else. Boosie pretty much has been an exclusive Vlad interview. Niggas don't even ask Boosie for interviews because they think he's only going to fuck with Vlad. It's not like Charleston White would say cheese. Charleston White used to go out and get more than people would pay more than say cheese would pay, but they would have lesser audiences. So Charleston started popping this shit because he started figuring out the market. Oh shit. Oh, I could go get this here. I could get Boosie. The way he operated, he was kind of loyal to the soil. That's why I think I guarantee he didn't talk bad about Vlad, but he probably felt away like, what the fuck? You want to give me $5,000 raise? I helped build this shit. I kept the lights on. There's no back pay for building the company, man. You got to get it there in equity initially or not get it at all. So you go on Vlad page right now. Again, we're all in the comment on current events. Let's look at the people who you got commented on current events. You got T.K. Kirkland. You got shit. Now they got Crip Mac on this bitch. Oh shit. Let me just. He's getting new people. D-Baby's a current artist that's popping. Just came off YoungBoy's tour. Papoose just telling new stories. Right? He got Hassan Campbell talking about getting thied by Africa Bambaataa. Of course, Boosie being on here would be amazing. But I think Vlad probably started thinking, do I need to give this guy so much money that my profit margin isn't really strong? This shit a well-oiled machine already. This shit's a well-oiled machine. Shit, Vlad called me 30 times. I'm about to go do it. Vlad was like, yo, Ak, yo, I called your stream. What's up, man? You're not gonna like hold me down? All right, Vlad, man. Give me until this date, bro. I got you, bro. Vlad gonna get his thing. He got Tony Ayo. Tony Ayo got stories for days. The thing is, we ran out of Boosie stories. So Boosie is just reacting. Like, the worth of Boosie now is reacting. And that's the thing about commentary. This is why I encourage everybody who go on Vladtv. If you don't got once you get past your initial interview, you're not being interviewed no more. You're commenting on topics. If you don't have a YouTube channel, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Because you're saving your takes for Vlad. And he's gonna be the market that dictates how many people even want to see you. And by the way, in terms of, again, even defending Vlad a little bit, Boosie saying, oh, I'm recording my own interview. Well, Boosie, the way how YouTube work is creating fan habit. There's fans that already have a habit going to Vladtv, not Boosie TV. So whatever you think you're going to get in views that you used to get over there, you're not going to get. Now, if you think you're going to get more money, you're probably not going to get that. And here's the most probably embarrassing thing. I think Boosie's probably going to do one interview, see the mathin', and go right back to Vlad. That is going to be the most embarrassing thing, rather than you saying, hey, I'm now building my platform. And that's the problem with people in content. It takes more than one interview to build a This is why when I just seen Polo G streaming. Shout out to Polo G. I know he was joking a little bit, so I'm not trying to get on him. Polo G streaming, and he said, yo, where the gift is at? Where the bread at? Brother, it takes a while to build it. Vlad built this platform for over 20-something years. Oh, what you think that, you just about to go get some cameras and drop an interview and your platform is lit? No, you're going to have to build it. I built my shit for 15 plus years. No Jumper been doing anything for 10 plus years. These platforms has went through the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs. They've built it. Here's the thing. If Boosie actually builds his platform, I think it would work. But I'll give you this. There's a big difference between being a content creator and being a platform owner. It's way easier to show up when niggas have a camera ready, a mic to put on you, and they're prompting you with questions, than to build that platform when that shit is boring, that shit is not hitting. But let me move on to another point. Boosie is also one of the people that don't realize that, and I give Vlad some more credit. Vlad extracts a lot of the best content out of these guys. Vlad is the person you need to sit across from, because if you sit across from your homie, he won't say certain shit because he don't want to be police. But Vlad gonna get the answer out of you, or Vlad gonna get you to react to something, or you're gonna react to Vlad, and that's the content. That's the good part. The idea that you could just substitute Vlad out of there, I don't believe that. So I predict that Boosie gonna be back on that couch for the end of the year. I know Boosie might be a hard-headed nigga, but I think 2 or 3 times of him doing this and realizing, shit, even without the raise, I was getting 2 to 3 times more. He'll be back. My point is, and I'll say it to all of these guys. You see, again, maybe I'm saying this because I do my thing solo. But if you on No Jumper every week and you're not creating twice the amount of content for yourself as you're creating for No Jumper, if they're paying you $150, that's exactly what you fucking deserve. Okay? If you think you're the draw of any platform and you ain't building your own or trying to leverage what you got going there to build your own, you're an idiot. You deserve whatever they give you. Not calling Boosie an idiot, but I think Boosie's a little bit too late. We've heard all the stories. We've got all the classic memes, the classic reactions. We know Boosie like the back of our hands. The only thing new is, what does he think about Gucci? What would he done if he was Pooh Shiesty? But that was about it. Now, the last part of my thoughts on this comes from what I think a lot of people are thinking. I think Boosie was probably, very comfortable when he thought he was the highest paid on the network. Then 6ix9ine came in. And I told Vlad to do that deal. 6ix9ine asked for an exorbitant amount. Actually, more than what Vlad paid him, to be honest. Vlad talked him down, and they figured out a deal, and they did it. It was one of Vlad's biggest interviews of all time. Vlad talks about it a lot. Like, yo, I paid 6ix9ine some wild amount of money, the most I've ever paid someone, but it was worth it. I think Boosie, not that he's jealous, I don't think he cares about 6ix9ine, but I think he does kind of look at like, wait, okay. That guy came in and did one interview. Man, I've done 30 interviews with you. Man, before a 6ix9ine would even think about coming on this platform or anybody else, I put the work in. Man, I deserve a raise then. Now, I imagine that's where his mindset is going to come from. Okay? I imagine that's where his mindset is going to come from when it comes to that. I had a conversation. I'll let this part of the conversation go with me and Vlad. Vlad's, he's constantly thinking about different monetization structures. He was floating this idea. It's like, he's like, bro, like, these guys don't really know. I'm not trying to rob them. Like, I'm just doing business. Like, Vlad is a strictly business guy. Let me tell you this. One thing, I think I'm a pretty shrewd business person as well, but if I value you, a lot of times I take a loss. And I take a loss as an investment. Let me say that again. When I value someone, I take a loss sometimes as an investment. I ain't gonna lie. I think even currently, when I've processed payroll, I think I'm taking a loss because I'm paying people for shit I don't think they've done. But I'm hoping that investment is gonna pay off sometime in the near future or a little bit long term. Okay? Loyalty is definitely very important. That's how I approach things. So, for example, if I had a podcast going and I had a bunch of people doing the news for me, let's say it cost me $4,000 to pay for the podcast, pay the producers, pay the clipper, whatever, for the podcast. And let's say they were grossing, I don't know, $3,000. So every time that happens, I lose $1,000. If I believed in these people, I wouldn't mind that loss. I've taken loss and offset it with other things in business a lot of times. There's some people, and I actually think this is more like Vlad and also Adam. The moment you turn into a loss for them, you're out of there. It's time to go. Canceled, get out of here. Now, there's many different ways to skin a cat. That's not my way. You get what I'm saying? That's just not my way. I'm not saying their way is either wrong. I think my way gets people loyal longer term, and also it will give you the flexibility of being able to grow with people who you feel have been significant in your journey. I think when it comes to Vlad, he's looking at it straight dollars and cents. So his idea was, you know what? For the guys who think that I'm like robbing them, or not robbing them, because nobody thinks he's robbing. They might think, oh, you're being cheap. And also, I didn't blame Vlad for that. I said, Vlad, you know why partially this is happening? You kicked off the game by offering all these guys money, and now these guys think that the money that you offered is kind of infinite. So Vlad floated this idea like, yo, you know what? If it was possible, I would want to get to a place where rather than give them money, let's if we could do this per video, you get a percentage of the video. So after my production costs, after these costs, we split the profits by the percentage. And I told Vlad quickly, I said, Vlad, that shit will never work. Just being honest with you. I said, if someone was going to get $10,000, right? Say you were paying someone $10,000, and then you said, nah, hey, listen, you're going to get 40% of the profits, right? The video in the first month doesn't profit because you spent $5,000. So now we got to make it. You got to make at least $5,000 to go into positive, right? So the first month, or let's say the first 2 weeks, doesn't profit yet. It starts to pick up a little bit. Now it's profiting, but it's profiting $500. This is a month in. Okay, some other shit happened. It's a great flashback clip. It goes up. It's now profitable $3,000. The point of what I'm trying to say is, as you hear me stagger it out here, is that the reason why I told Vlad it won't work, I said, Vlad, you're working in a hip hop industry. Niggas don't want their money over 3 years. They want their money now. Like, niggas ain't gonna be like, yeah, Vlad sent me a check of $500 every month. Nope. They want their money motherfucking now. You know, which that's where I think most of what Vlad trying to make sure his business dealings with people are, on the up and up, but also they understand his business. Because I'm pretty sure Boosie don't give a fuck what it takes for Vlad to make an interview. He probably don't care about the cost. He probably don't care about none of that. He just probably cares about what he's getting. And that's what the majority of hip hop is. So I told him that wouldn't work. Did I ever tell y'all the story of it's when I was at Complex. And after Joe Budden left, they looked at me and they said, bro, we don't want to go through the same beef with you. My lawyers were fighting them for some shit, and they said, check this out. We're going to give you two options. We're going to increase the bump in case we ever get an ad. So if we get one ad, it could have been like even, I don't know, a Tootsie Roll ad. You're going to get this set amount of money, no matter what. Or what Joe was fighting for, which was like a percentage-based thing. So, yo, you could get a percentage-based compensation. However, a percentage based on the entire show revenue. And I said, oh, shit. Yeah, that's what I want. I want to be full-on partners. Yeah, give me that. Lo and behold, chat, you get to realize I would have made more just by taking the money up front. Why? Because the show became ridiculously expensive to produce. Then they were using money for promotion and shit like that. There wasn't a lot that was coming out on the bottom line that was gonna give me this whatever percentage. So again, it's just business, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's just straight up business. Now, is Boosie greedy? I don't think Boosie's greedy, but Boosie has to also acknowledge you and everybody else that went up to Vladtv, y'all have lost y'all leverage. Vlad is lit right now. Go look at, I'll show you case in point, right? I'm going to show you one thing, then I can just end this. This is pretty much easy. By the way, look, Vlad supposedly is premiering a nigga stand-up special. What in the fuck is this? What? Okay. Let's just look at Boosie. I want to just go to all Boosie shit. Yeah, this is when Boosie was hard carrying back then. 5 years ago, right? Yeah, look at these clips. Part 37. This is fucking part 37, nigga. Part 37 got 1.6 million views 5 years ago. Let's look. 2021. I want to show you something interesting. That's March 2021. Let's go to Social Blade. Let's go to DJ Vlad. Let's go to DJ Vlad. Here we go. Okay. First and foremost, currently Vlad is doing 30 million views a month. Okay. What we're gonna do to extrapolate is we're gonna go. Here we go. We can't go further. Oh my god. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. Fuck. Why we can't go past that amount of time? All right. Chat, basically the point I was trying to make is that I guarantee back in 2021, if we look at the stats, that 1.6 million, like you probably were a big part of Vlad's views then. Vlad's views now, you're probably, I'm not saying that you don't make a sizable thing, but you're a drop in a bucket. It's kind of what Drake is to streaming, right? Like the streaming, Drake could have had streaming companies by the ball sack in 2016. Drake helped establish streaming. Now, did y'all see the streaming numbers? Yeah, Drake is top 5, but one Bad Bunny is 2 Drakes, just by the numbers. This is most streamed artist globally this year. One Bad Bunny is 2 Drakes. Taylor over Drake. Okay, let's say you don't have Drake, but you got Bruno. Not that bad. Weeknd, not that bad. The point is, Boosie loses a lot of leverage because now Vladtv got a lot of options. A lot of people who used to like them Boosie interviews, they like the Yayo interviews now. That's how it is. A lot of people who thought he used to keep it funky, they want to hear 6ix9ine keep it funky. And then, this is the last part of what I was going to say. And we'll move on from here. Apparently, Charleston White, and well, not apparently. I was at the event with both of them. Charleston White and Boosie, Charleston White and Vlad linked up and took a picture. They linked up and took a picture. Right here. Now this was after Boosie, supposedly, according to Vlad, Boosie told Vlad, do me one favor. Never interview Charleston White because Charleston White talked about my kids. Vlad said he would never interview Charleston White. At one of the brand risk events,
like you want to cross the street and go LGBT,
at one of the events, this is Aiden's event.
And he's down to break the rules. I think you should stay far away from him. Let him say what he's saying. As long as he's not hurting you physically,
Aiden and
you gotta understand.
Aiden and Jordan came to me last night and asked me would I fight Boosie. So they're trying to make it happen.
Boosie?
They came to me last night with a Boosie proposal. Literally. I'm honest to God true.
I love Boosie, but I seen you. Listen.
It's not happening.
Wait, can we just pause a second? DJ Vlad.
Oh shit! This is, I think, the first time they met.
Last day he'll take it. Last day he'll take it. Last day he'll take it. What?
Now, Boosie probably was sitting in the back like, yo, this nigga won't give me a raise. Now he's fucking with my ops. Oh, man.
We about the same side?
No. You can't
I'm gonna
fight.
bring insurance and move.
Okay, let's move us back a little bit.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I got my money on Boosie.
Why do you reckon Boosie will beat Charleston White?
Why do I reckon? He gonna beat him.
Boosie made Vlad about $5 million. He's not going against him, and I respect.
That's a fact.
He
Don't
respected.
bite the mouth that feeds
He
you.
respected, but
You heard me, he said 10.
put like this, Charleston White, Boosie I've heard about in the streets. Legendary, he's a legendary rapper. He's been legendary.
Anyway, so I think that's a couple of things that's happening. Boosie done seen Vlad. He's now maybe open to an idea of interviewing Charleston White. Vlad has given the biggest paycheck ever to 6ix9ine. Vlad has a bunch of other frequent flyers on the platform. See Yayo, see a couple other guys. And I think Boosie is probably saying, where all these new niggas come from? Before it was these niggas, it was me. I need a raise. But I think the raise is more based on I helped build this shit, nigga. Unfortunately, not a lot of people compensate like that in business. Not a lot of people compensate for I built this shit in post.
That's what's taking so long for it to go green. This is
Okay. Anyway. Boosie did come back around and clarify that he is not beefing with DJ Vlad. He made the clarification here.
Hey, y'all on social media trying to make this like it's a beef between me and Vlad, bro. Like, that's my guy, bro. Like, I can call Vlad right now, bro, and we'll laugh about shit, bro. Like, me trying to find a, better way to make more money off my interviews. I'm a hustler, bro. Like, if two people can't agree on something, that's what people do. Like, it's nothing, man. It's no big deal at all, bro. Like, call Vlad right now. We gonna laugh this shit out, bro. Like,
Yeah, see, that nigga Boosie smart. He hedging his bet. I'm gonna tell you why Boosie's thing won't succeed. Vlad's formula is unmatched. Vlad's gonna do a 3-hour interview with you, cut it up in 50 parts. He has 50 chances at monetization. He also is gonna release the full thing at first to the members, and then he's gonna release the full thing at the end. 51 parts, 51 videos. Let's just do the math on that. The win is if he could make $1,000 on half of the clips, or let's say $500 per clip. 50 parts, including the full thing. If he could average $500 per part, $500 per clip, he would have made 25 grand on the interview. And that might be a low ball for certain people who their clips are going to go crazy. So again, that's Vlad's strategy. You know what Boosie ain't going to do? Chop up his interview and roll it out like that. Why won't he do it? Well, the reason why Vlad could do it now and it doesn't seem too odd, number one, he's been doing for a while. Number two is that he's rolling out everybody else's interview at the same time like that. So every day he rolls out 5 interviews with one part. So his channel isn't just, oh, you're coming here for one interview. You're coming here for 6 interviews at the same time, just one part per day. If Boosie tries to roll out one part of his interview per day, his channel is going to die. By the time he rolls out everything, it's irrelevant. So he got to put it out in full. And when you put it out in full, that shit's going out the algorithm in like 2 to 3 days. So to me, it's impossible that he's gonna beat what Vlad pays him, and I could see him back on Vladtv after he learns that lesson in a few months.
but me, trying to hustle and make more money if I can, that's what hustlers do, bro. Like, I'm never satisfied, bro. Like, if I can try to find a better way, I'ma always try to find a better way, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with me and my relationship with my partner, bro. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with it, bro. Like, I don't see why y'all upset, bro. Like, y'all love our interview. I don't see why y'all upset, bro. But, you know, I got an interview coming this week. I mean, if you can support it, you know, I know all my fans gonna support it anyway. But don't try to push the narrative, my nigga. Like, me and Vlad good, bro. Like, I'm just hustling, bro. I'm trying to find a better way, bro.
Some people say Boosie pocket watching. Well, I do think that's how some of these things are. I think niggas at this point is starting to realize Vlad is taking home the bag. And they're now thinking about what they contributed to Vlad getting to this point. So they're like, damn, so if Vladtv is making this amount and I'm only getting this, I'm Boosie. When niggas said Vlad, they said Boosie. How am I not getting more?